really want to hear your spin on Paul Ryan's budget proposal and his budget. And one of these days, I'm going to catch you in your office. I want to hear it. And I know we didn't have time. I know I'm not going to agree, but I want to hear your spin on it,
well,
so I'll have some clarity.
It's too complicated to explain.
So that's why we could just leave out those
Well,
big
no,
gaps.
I don't think Ryan's budget raises taxes enough. It's not that I'm a fan of the Paul Ryan budget. I think we got to combine Barack Obama and Paul Ryan. I mean, I almost said that. That would be really interesting. We'll do 20
Now,
Ryan
that's
and
what
Obama's tax increases, and then maybe we'll get some. And everybody suffers.
Everybody
Well,
suffers.
and you said everybody suffers, even Mitt Romney and his crew.
Oh, yeah.
Pay more taxes.
Get rid of carried interest. And although I think he's out of that. I think that got over in 2009.
So you know,
For him.
but
It still
you
exists.
understand. One thing about Americans is, in a crisis, if you say everyone has to brace for this in order for us to get over this hump, I think you will get cooperation. But the resistance comes from this elitist notion that some people will be okay and others won't. And honestly, the fair share concept.
It's too easy to demagogue it, though. That's the problem.
Okay.
On both sides, it's too easy to say, oh, these people want to take all your money and waste it, and it's too easy on the other side to say, well, we can't, harm this person who desperately needs this money. We can't deny them this
Yeah,
and
you
that.
can hold a puppy dog up.
Right. It's too easy to make that claim.
Yeah, it's that spectrum thing that I say that's very hard to there are bad and good in every group of people, and there are,
Well, I think you
there's
overestimate
waste
the
and
public
there's
a little bit.
That's interesting. Obama.
Yeah,
Ryan.
it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I grew up in Detroit. Near Detroit, in the suburbs, they used to tell these stories about the car companies, and they said that when the car companies were just beginning in the beginning of the 20th century, people didn't know if they should invest their money, so some consultants had consultants then too. They said, yeah, you should invest your money, but there's a major constraining factor, and that's the unavailability of chauffeurs. We laugh about it now, but there probably are some other assumptions like that we will 100 years from now look back on and say, that was silly of
like
them.
I think the medical expense crisis is going to be solved by lower priced physician's assistants and things of that sort. I mean, that's already happening. I think as soon as we wise up to some of the this is on video, I won't say it. But
So
there's some payment abuses that are pretty endemic and could be corrected very, very easily.
And some of them will be, I believe, corrected in the Affordable Health Care Act.
If
That's
it
700.
survives.
Well, because that money is money that was going out to. It wasn't money that was utilized for actual recipients of the funds. It was going out as payments. And we know there's a history of abuse of payments there. So I think that's going to be a factor too.
Yeah. Well, when I was talking about, like one of the things, like when we started when we engaged in the Iraq War and all those budget, they were all off budget. Well, we should have had someplace I read once, this is the only war we ever had we didn't have an extra tax for. We should have had a 1 or 2% surcharge on taxes, and until the war's over.
And I think people would have supported that.
They would have supported
yes,
it and given people an incentive for the war to be over. If they didn't like paying that extra 2%, then they would be encouraged to let's get this thing over so we can get back to our
funny.
money.
My son-in-law is a physician, and he said some similar things to David. He said this healthcare crisis is going to be addressed by things we haven't even dreamt of yet.
Right.
The system is going to change.
This IBM computer that defeated the chess champion, that's its main purpose is diagnostics.
Yeah, and I wonder whether some political things will happen that are profoundly transformative.
Well, we have demographic changes that are going to take place. That are going to force a lot of this. I mean, the baby boomers are all retiring.
Yeah, and you see the population for the fourth year was we had a reduction in the population. It was like below.
We're going to become Japan if we're not careful, or Europe.
Demographically, we have a little bit of an advantage.
We have a big
advantage.
You can't afford to have kids.
Immigration and the children of immigrants are
that's
something
our
like
saviors.
90% of our population growth between now and 2050.
Yes.
Wow.
You read the same book,
something
probably.
that we do. Something that we do right. No, I do that, but it's,
it is
it's
our saving grace, and that's where when Romney talks about selective immigration, which I'm not sure what he means by that, but that's, and it doesn't know what he says, but But we need to be doing that. Other countries are Canada's actively recruiting, Indians, Pakistanis, people, educated people to come to their country. We need to do that too. Although they are different, we'll have to adjust to them a little bit. But they.
Well, the 2016 election will be conducted with an entirely different population. That's one other reason.
Well,
Set aside who's going to run. Who's going to vote is going to do it.
Answer the question that
I'm not talking about that.
We allowed to go now?
Answer the question you wish they asked you.
Yeah.
That's all I ever do.
Okay, nothing next week because I'll be out of town. So this was this week and next week.